have been pretty dominant in, for many years in this event, and really again are the crew to beat, with a couple of very experienced athletes, Leonardo Pettinari and Daniele Gilardoni. Daniele, who's of course #1 rower apparently according to FISA rowing,
for his collection of medals,
the number of medals
achieved in sculling and rowing, I think, as well.
Yep.
In lane 1 we have Denmark, Martin Battenberg, Sophus Johnson, Niels Stene and Henrik Stefansson. In lane 2, Germany, Kai Ansbach, Knud Langer, Joachim Drews and Alexander Bernhardt. And in lane 3, Fabien Dufour, Olympic medalist in the lightweight double scull, Maxime Goisset, Pierre-Etienne Polez and Romé Di Girolamo. And although he sounds like he should be in the Italian crew, this is the Italian crew. Leonardo Pettinari up in the bows there in the white cap. In front of him, Daniele Gilardoni and Luca Moncada. Daniele Dan is in the stroke seat. The British lightweight quadruple scull, Simon Jones, Robert Williams, Chris Bartley, Dave Curry in lane 5. And on the outside, Sam Saylor, Jonathan Dalber, Cody Lowry and Daniel Jurovic Ackelsberg for the United States.
Pettinari, of course, from the Italian bow seat, one of the famous Pettinari and Luini combinations in the lightweight double sculls, which kind of crashed and burnt at Athens, and so didn't actually make it kind of very much further apart from that. I think they fell out pretty badly after Athens, and as you can see, Luini carried on with the double, and Gilardoni has moved.
Well, they both tried doubles. Pettinari with Basilini, and it didn't go. So in the end, Luini got the nod and got a medal with it yesterday. Now, a bit of a heave there on the British crew, but they looked to me to have got off quite quickly. There was a certain amount of... Yep.
Well, the winners of the men's quad sculls event at Henry Royal Regatta a couple of months ago, so they definitely got some speed. They won that, beating a lot of heavyweight crews, openweight crews as well, so they're definitely right up there. And at the moment, though, it's the French showing briefly in front, and then really just across the board, Denmark and Germany, Italy and Great Britain all pretty much in a line, perhaps Britain just edging it itself.
I think in quadruple sculls there is a psychological advantage to getting off quickly, because we've talked about it, the high boat speed means there's less chance to doing something later on, and secondly, it's a boat which depends more almost than any other on a really true combination of the athlete's movements and right down to the psyche. And if you're all up, then the whole thing is going to feel lighter in the water and zappier in the hand than if you're struggling, because a quad is not something that for which the solution is simply pull harder.
Yeah, the Italian's leaning quite far back there, especially Gilardoni in the two seat. So it's an interesting stylistic thing. Usually you see the Italians very upright, low in the boat, using their legs. They're really pumping their legs, but at the moment it is France through the line of 500 first, followed by Great Britain and Italy extremely close in attendance, Germany, Denmark and the US bringing up the rest of the field. Yeah, what did you think about the Italian style there?
It is. I think that probably if you're coaching lightweights, and it's particularly Gilardoni in the two seat, isn't it, who's laid back most, you're trying to get a long arc. You've got relatively shorter limbs than you have with the open weights, and they might think, you see there, again, the Brits, Dave Curry is sitting right, or at least heaving back into the finish there. So probably they're just trying to increase the arc a little bit and to overcome the slightly shorter lever length that they've got to play with. Very nice shot there of the Great Britain quad, who look like they're sculling pretty sweetly together. I thought that looked very accomplished as we saw them.
As the parallax just starts coming back into the real line now, you can see the Italians have made a little bit of a move and starting to squeeze up on the French. I think it's going to be France and Italy who are going to start looking to move away from Great Britain, who are going to have a real fight on their hands if they're going to stay ahead of Germany as well.
Well, there's France, not looking too challenged at this stage, but I think they'll find when we get into broadside view that it is
Italy just
I
through
think
the line.
Italy went through the line first, yes.
Right through the line of boys.
But Great Britain in a strong bronze medal position, being challenged by Germany on the far side, but with with a full second in hand on that, which is a reasonable amount in this event.
Here the race starting now. You can see the Italians already made up about a quarter of a length deficit on both the French and the British crew, are now starting to charge out in front now. In the last 1,000 metres, it's going to be France and Italy really neck and neck now, with the Italians just starting to creep out, maybe a canvas lead at the moment.
I think the Italians did move out because they've moved up on Britain as well, but France is not moving as well as they were earlier.
See from that shot, the Italians actually the highest pace speed at the moment.
20, yes.
The Italians just creeping out now. This middle section, often where the race is kind of known to begin again, and it's the Italians with the slim advantage, starting to stretch out, maybe stretch their lead over the French next to them.
And France hasn't come back to Great Britain, and Germany has come up to Great Britain. So we've got Italians looking pretty strong as we coming up to the last 500 metres. We've got the Italians looking pretty strong in first place, with France in a equally strong position in silver medal position, and Germany and Great Britain the ones chasing for the bronze.
And here we go now, through 500 metres to go. The Italians have stretched their lead now to a second over France. Great Britain still in third, just holding off the German charge at the moment. But as we start coming into the stands, how much is this home crowd going to drive that German quad on?
Germany picked up half a second off Great Britain in that 500, so they've closed on them. But we all know that the race is in the second half, and particularly in the last quarter, where we are now, and we are with 300 metres to go. Italy stretching every stroke, just moving out on France. France not going backwards because they're holding their position relative to Germany and Great Britain, but Italy moving out now almost to a length, and really looking very supreme indeed, although with that rather peculiar layback of Daniele Ghilardoni, not perfectly aligned in the bodies, even if the blades are buried and working precisely together.
They are just so good though now, as I see the Italians almost out to a full length. France starting to move now. I think they're going to be holding on to their silver medal position, but it is going to be very tight between Germany on the far side there and on the near side, Great Britain.
Great Britain have come back on France and got well away from Germany now, I think. And I think the Brits are closing on France. Not enough to take silver from them, but France come back on Italy. They were out to a length, the Italians. They're now conceding distance on France. And as we come up to the line, it will be Italy across the line in first place, with France in a secure silver medal, but being chased hard to the line by Great Britain, who missed out on that by, I suppose, a second from France.
Great final sprint from the British there.
It's a very good final sprint, because if you look at Germany, who were only half a second down with 500 metres to go, they will, when we get a time, I think it'll be at least 2 seconds, if not more. So that was 3 crews detaching themselves from the rest in that last 500. And really moving away.
Yes, another gold medal to add to the collections of Leonardo Pettinari and Daniele Ghilardoni.
So that's nearly 6 seconds off the leaders for Germany and 2.1 seconds off the leaders for Great Britain. So that's the best part of 4 seconds, most of it gained in the last 500 metres. And the real separation from the 3 medal crews from the 4th, 5th and 6th place crews. So congratulations there to Italy, 6:01. That's 16 seconds off the world best time, but they did set that world best time themselves, not this crew, but an Italian crew in Canada long ago as 1992, 15 years ago, and they also won it with much the same crew in Eton last year.